So I'm going to be analyzing a clip that did 600K views. It was for a client, so let's play it.
People in the US don't move like this, bro.
So that's a hook, right? And the hook is about 2 seconds. What you want to do with the hook, okay? The hook is very, very important, okay? I'm sure you may have heard a lot of people say, you know, the hook. The hook will literally decide if the algorithm will actually push your content or your clip or not, okay? If majority of people skip the clip, right, in the first couple seconds, the algorithm's not going to know, like, okay, well, but actually the rest of the clip was good, so I'm going to push it anyway. The algorithm will just simply see that a lot of people skipped in the first couple seconds. It will then think, well, this must be a bad clip. I'm not going to push it to anyone. So you really want to focus on the hook. And what makes a good hook? I can tell you right now, okay, the hook definitely did its job here. You want to make sure that ideally, okay, for talking clips, you want to make sure the hook is around like a sentence, right? In this kind of clip, he just says, people in the US don't move like this, right? That's literally the hook. And then it immediately goes into the actual clip. So you want to make sure that the hook is very, very kind of short, very to the point. And yeah, that's the main thing. And I feel like if you make sure that it is to the point and very short, it will naturally set up the rest of the clip, right? You basically just want to give enough context for the viewer to understand, what will happen if they watch the clip, right? Because then they will decide whether or not they want to watch it.
First thing that happens is we get off the plane and we get picked up by a driver that Iman sent. It's wild because I texted him. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be in Dubai during these dates. If you're out here, let me know. It'd be cool to link up. He said, unfortunately, I'm going to be in London, but send me your flight details. I'll send you my driver. I sent him my flight details. Get off the plane, hop out of the airport. Bro sent his fucking Phantom to pick us up.
So that's the clip, right? And for the middle and then the end, or mainly the middle, or yeah, the storytelling, okay? I'll just call it the storytelling. So the part after the hook. There is not a single moment where the clip kind of stalls, right? It is always moving forward. The story is always progressing. That is what you want for your storytelling. You want to cut out anything aggressively that does not serve the story, right? It doesn't progress the story. If it doesn't progress the story, cut it out and remove it. Because you don't want people to drop off after the hook or whatever, right? Like, let's say your hook was really good and you got a lot of people to stay for the clip, but you kind of fuck up on the storytelling after the hook and then they leave after 5 seconds, right? To stop that, you basically just want to ensure that it is always progressing, right? And of course, there'll be some situations where you'll find yourself, you're like, okay, I cut out all the bullshit and the clip is very short, right? It's like 8 seconds or 10 seconds, whatever. That's fine, okay? That's fine. The duration of the clip doesn't matter. You can still go viral. Just make sure, like, it will hurt you a lot more if you add more unnecessary stuff to the clip because you want the clip to be longer, right? You don't want to do that. You just remove everything that isn't necessary to the story of the clip, and yeah, don't worry about the duration of the clip. So that's the structure of the clip. It's pretty simple, right? The hook and then storytelling. Now, if we actually go into the visuals, it's very simple, right? I did use a filter from After Effects and a subtitle animation. Let me mute the thing real quick. But yeah, it's a very simple kind of editing. Just have the subtitles and the actual video with a little filter. And I have some B-roll here and there. Honestly, you don't really need B-roll unless you need to show like a context, right? If the person you're clipping is talking about something very specific and it would actually confuse the viewer if you don't show what they're talking about, then add the B-roll, right? And then show like, okay, this is what the content creators talk about. Here you go, right? Other than that, I don't really use B-roll, okay? I think B-roll is like, if you're using B-roll to like every 3 seconds, like it doesn't matter, okay? That shit doesn't matter. Now the personal brand is a young entrepreneur, and if you notice, okay, not just from what is being said, but the actual visuals, right? You can see he's in some city. People might see like, okay, it's like Dubai or whatever, like he's in Dubai in this clip, but they're like, okay, he's in some city, right? He's clearly in some city. And also, I found on Instagram that these type of clips where it's like very organic, right? It's like not like what I'm doing now. I'm sitting down, or where whoever's sitting down and talking to the camera. I feel like those don't really do well anymore. But these type of clips do really well, right? Like it's like vlog style. But anyways, everything about the clip is basically a niche. I did not realize this at the time because I only found it out several months later, actually quite recently, a few weeks ago. But everything in the clip basically follows a niche, right? And I spoke about this in the video earlier this week, where you want to make sure that every single thing that goes on your clip is part of your niche, okay? It will essentially decide how you do the subtitles, how you do the look of the clip, what B-roll to add, whatever, right? The music as well, like everything about the clip. You basically want to make sure that everything that you add into the clip is under the kind of topic or the niche that you have chosen for your account. So for me, or for this account, this is a young entrepreneur clipping page. So what I did is I did a kind of aesthetic look. I stopped doing this look because I think having no effects like this, it will make it more relatable, right? Because like vlogs. But I add like a yellow text, an aesthetic looking font, and some B-roll, right? Some aesthetic B-roll. Now, if this was a gaming clip, right, or a streamer clip, I definitely would not be using this style, okay? This like kind of aesthetic style, because it would not make sense. Like if I would probably do like the Mr. Beast font, and then have like a really really big subtitles, and then sound effects and then bright colors and all that bullshit, right? Because for that niche, the entertainment niche, the streamers, whatever, gaming, it just fits the niche, right? And you kind of want to think about that. Like, if you are clipping people who are, I don't know, let's say you're clipping plumbers, okay? It might actually be better if you're clipping a plumber to do like a super, super basic like subtitle, like on purpose, right? Like you edited it, but you use a very, very like basic and like the default font, right? It might actually make more sense, because if you think about it, the people watching the plumber are like, like the middle-aged people, boomers, whatever, right? And you want to think about like, what do they like? What do they watch? Yeah, what do they watch? What do the things that they watch look like the reels, whatever. Like, I know for me, whenever I watch my parents or look at whatever my parents are watching on, Facebook Reels, they did not fucking look like this, all right? They don't have like all these effects and the fucking Brazilian funk music and all that shit, right? It's like usually extremely simple. It has like the white text with the background, the white text, not white text, the text with the white background and then the black text, right? And it's like at the top or whatever, and like explains what the clip is about. And usually there's no subtitles, right? So that's what you also want to think about when you are editing your clip, okay? You don't copy, like, just because I went viral in this clip with this style, don't copy it, okay? I did this style. I didn't know at the time, but I kind of went off like intuition at the time. This was a few months ago. But I was like thinking, okay, I think an aesthetic style like this would work well for this personal brand, right? And it did. So basically, you just want to think about who is watching and what the things they're watching will look like, and then you want to make your clips look like that. Okay. Like if you're making fucking Roblox, then Roblox clips, then you're probably not going to do this style, right? With the After Effects and all that. But yeah, what else? I know that's pretty much it. I'll do a quick recap. You want to make sure your hook is very short, to the point. You don't want to drag on the hook at all. Okay, it's very, very important. If you want to if there's one thing you should be spending the most time on when you're editing a clip is definitely the hook. Okay, do not be lazy on the hook, otherwise you basically wasted your time. And then after that, the storytelling part, you want to ensure that the actual point of the clip is always progressing. Okay, the story, it's always moving forward. You do not want any dull moments. You don't want it to just like have the guy yapping or girl yapping about some random shit and it doesn't add anything to the clip, because 1 second, 2 seconds of that, and I can guarantee you you'll get like a massive drop off in viewers, right? Oh, I actually didn't mention the ending. The ending, you just want to kind of give what the viewer came for, right? Or what they stayed for, right? So whatever the hook was, you want to kind of end the clip with whatever the hook has promised, right? Or whatever the hook has set up. And then for the actual visuals, you want to make sure I can't give you, right? I can't give you a one size fits all option. It really will depend on what content you're clipping, right? It will vary from if you're doing, dog videos, or if you're doing gaming videos, streamer clips, whatever. It will look different for all of those niches, okay? Now, I do recommend, I forgot to mention this, I'll talk about it now. I do recommend that you do go into a niche if you are creating a brand new account, a niche that you are very familiar with, right? Because then you don't have to like kind of guess what will look good. You'll just know like, okay, I'm already very interested in this niche. The clips should look like this, right? Because you're very experienced already. But if you do not have experience, then you can absolutely go on YouTube, Instagram Reels, TikTok, and then just go into so let's say you're doing streamer clips. Just look at how they edit the clip, how they cut the clip, everything, right? Just look at everything, note down every single second of what they do, and then just kind of recreate that, right? And then have that as like a kind of guide as to what the people in that niche like to watch, right? And how they want the clips to look like, right? Because you're basically just, because if you go into streamer clips, right, and you do this style, I guarantee you, like this aesthetic style, I can guarantee you it's gonna flop, right? Because it just doesn't fit. It does not fit the kind of niche, right? But yeah, that's the analysis of a clip that did 600K views. The niche is a personal brand, make money online, right? I'd say that is the hardest niche. I do not recommend you go into that niche because most of the time you aren't really able to leverage the fame of the creator, right? Like a lot of people that do need clips, they aren't necessarily like super famous, right? And it really comes down to your fundamentals, which is your hook, storytelling, and then like how you craft the visuals, right? But that's the video. If you enjoy it, consider liking. I will be uploading 3 times a week, so consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next video.